This is the Riot Podcast where we were right now having bandwidth issues, so we have to hurry up and do the intro.
So this would be a faster intro, but Obi's still broadcasting from home under quarantine, but hopefully he'll return on Monday, and hopefully you'll still enjoy this podcast.
Everybody's doing their best. We hope that you guys enjoy it. Remember, take a break today. It's the election.
You don't want to
just
cover
relax.
anything in the podcast, or just let it be?
No, just let it be. Let's hurry up. Enjoy the podcast. It's still working. Still working. Bye.
Make sure you text and say hello, 877-2-RADIO-U. Enjoy the podcast today. Make sure you vote today, but then take a break today, okay?
I love what Nikki's saying right now.
Have a great day.
Bye.
The definition of insanity is putting the riot on again and again and expecting a better result. It's the worst of the riot on Radio U.
I am still in the basement.
Obi is still quarantined until probably Monday, since, he is sick. So he's there another day. Another show.
I'm the COVID master right now. I was telling Nikki off the air, seriously, one of the best things that you can do for your social media presence is to get COVID.
Now, are you being sarcastic because people are being mean to you, or you get so much more response, or what?
The response has been unreal. On Facebook and Twitter both, I've set records for posts. It's
just a lot of people.
Likes,
Mostly
loves,
nice, right?
retweets. You know what? I've only had a couple of people that have said things that to me have been incredibly asinine, but it's one of those things where I just didn't respond to them.
Sure.
I was like, you know what? It's fine. Obviously, they just have their own, I guess, political agenda, because it's weird. They're not doctors or scientists, but they seem to know exactly why I'm sick. But I just kind of let them say what they had to say and move on. I may have muted them. It's possible.
Well, that's nice of you. I wouldn't even mute it. I would have just blocked them completely. So that's very kind of you.
I thought about that too. I just want to give them the illusion of me still listening to them, even though I'm not at all.
I know. They're like, well, he never responds to me anymore. You're like, well, that's why he's completely just, not hearing from you.
There's a reason.
Well,
but,
happy Tuesday, everybody. Obviously, we've got a lot of, speaking of, I'm sure some angry or some very nice responses for the day as we get through Election Day today. And we'll come out tomorrow and we'll see what happens.
We've got an archive of everything stupid the Riot has ever said at your fingertips. This is the worst of the Riot Podcast.
welcome to Election Day.
Dun, 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 finally here. Even though I'm more interested in tomorrow, because this is just a lot of noise today. Tomorrow will be interesting. And then we can start, calming down and decorating for Christmas.
I appreciate, and I want to say, I've said many times, you're a sweet kid. If you think that tomorrow is the day that everybody calms down.
Well, no, I mean, it starts the roller coaster ride down. This is just a lot of last minute stuff today.
Yes, I'm getting tweets and phone calls and text messages as if they're going to change my mind. The last thing I hear is going to be the thing that's going to affect my vote. And I voted a month ago. So
he's already done. But of course, they don't believe you. And if they're calling and you actually talk to someone, they're not going to believe you. They just think you're lying. But he really did. He already voted.
Yeah, that's old school. And I'm really glad I did, because otherwise I probably wouldn't get a chance to vote at all. So let's talk about free stuff, food, and things for Election Day. Here's what I've got. Nikki, is there still a Boston market in our area?
I heard Hudson yesterday talking about that, and he brought up the fact of, is there a Boston market anywhere? Ours closed down, years ago, but there must be somewhere. It might just be in different states.
In Boston, maybe.
No, they weren't. They were never there.
They're offering you a free slider if you go there.
Sliders?
I guess.
Isn't that the other place? The
White Castle?
Yeah, the White Castle ones.
But this is a Boston Market slider, so it probably has, I don't know.
That just means they don't want to give you a full sandwich. They're just giving you a small one.
Okay, Nikki, what about Chopped?
Oh,
Chopped
yeah.
Creative Salad Company?
A salad place. What do you get?
I'll tell you what you get. A free pass to not go there, because who wants a salad? So let's see. They have it. Sunway's is committed to supporting voter You know what? Like, their thing sucks. Like, it's nothing free for you. You do get a free meal. Is offering a free meal to poll workers. Are you working the poll today, Nikki?
Let's watch that. If you're working at the voting place, no, I'm not. And I checked no on that. I didn't want to do that.
I always put on my special outfit and go work the polls. You know what I'm saying? Let's see. How about Enlightened? Have you ever heard of that place? What is this?
I'm afraid
this list sucks.
Is it mostly like regional places to different areas, or are they national?
Well, here you go. I got a couple for you. Like, a lot of places through Grubhub, if you get delivery through them, are offering deals, but you have to go through Grubhub. So, like, Red Lobster, who I'm constantly getting delivered, they're offering some stuff.
Just read the list. We don't have to have the commentary on every place. Just read the list. But really, who is getting Red Lobster delivered? That would be a very hard meal to keep it intact for it to come back home to you.
Let's see. P.F. Chang's, Hooters, BurgerFi, Burger King, California Pizza Kitchen, through Grubhub. They're all offering, you get some money off, but you don't get anything free. You know what? We make fun of them a lot, but the only person and thing that's out there being consistent for the people is Krispy Kreme.
They're the only ones.
Everybody else is working some stupid angle, and Krispy Kreme just like, get in here and have a free donut.
Well, I think that's because that's all they have, though. You can just get a donut. That's it. That's easy for them.
Well, I'll take a free donut over $5 off at Red Lobster any day of the week. Okay, like, let's just get real for a minute.
Oh my gosh! All right, well, that was the list of some of the things off today for voting day. I don't know if any of that's going to work out.
As you can see, Nikki and I are very excited about the deep discounts that await us.
This is RadioU's Worst of the Riot.
Man, I love this. This is a list that I found from Cracked.com. Now, listen, Cracked and I don't always get along. Sometimes
it's just about the list.
But, okay, it's a great list because it's a list of 14 myths that movies have made us believe. And I have thought about this a lot. This is a weird thing to think about, but shower thoughts, was thinking the other day, like, how many things about life do I believe because they've been portrayed a certain way on TV, but in real actual life, they don't remotely work that way. And here's a list. And let me just give you a couple of them. Like, car doors do not make good bullet shields.
Oh, yeah, I guess we would have seen that a couple of times in a movie.
I know it sounds ridiculous, but think about it. How about this one? Chloroform, the stuff that you put on a towel and you put it on somebody's face and they pass out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it takes 5 minutes for it to work.
You're kidding! It's supposed to be instant. You'd have to hold the person for a really long time.
Yep, that's exactly right.
That's actually really cool. Not the item and the act of trying to get someone to pass out, but just the fact that you're right. In the movies, that's instant. That's not taking 5 minutes long.
Right. How about this one? Silencers for guns don't work like they do in the movies. Now, I actually knew that one. So it's like, even though they make gunshots quieter, they're nowhere near as quiet as they are on film.
It's not actually silent.
Yeah. So that, I don't know. This one says don't suck venom out of a bite. It can make things worse.
Oh, I thought you were supposed to.
See, me too.
Well, let's flag that one so we can learn more about it in case it ever happens. But if not, I thought you were supposed to like isolate it so you do a tourniquet or something.
Yeah. How about this one? You can't brush off a shoulder wound, which they make it sound, again, it's one of those things you don't think about, but in movies, they're like, oh, he just got shot in the shoulder, he's fine. I can tell you, as someone that has had a shoulder injury, it's not good. And the article points out you have a major artery in your shoulder, so getting shot in the shoulder, you could very easily bleed out.
You could still die from a shot like that.
Mm-hmm. So let's see. Anything else? There's no such thing as truth serum. There are no explosions in space.
There's a list of things that we maybe see from movies and TV shows where you think it would be one way, but then you find out that's not actually how it works in real life.
Okay, and I'll just throw this out there. These are all kind of like, physical realities. I often think to myself when watching films or TV, I'm like, the emotional reality that's being portrayed here, not remotely. Like, you guys aren't getting it at all. Do you ever think that, where you're like, life doesn't work this way?
Yeah,
this
absolutely.
would never happen. Like, we build this expectation that life does work that way because we've seen it in films so many times, but it's not really like that. So we're being lied to, everybody. Just a heads up.
Let's just show that in movies, it's going to be normally faster than it is in real life. It'll work better than that will work in real life, and it's more convenient, and it's not like that in real life. You got to wait 5 minutes, guys.
The thing I always think is, like, we all know that, right? Like, everybody knows that. But I feel like on a subconscious level, even though we know, down there in the depths of our brain, we still expect things to work just like they do in the movies.
The worst of the worst. Are you ready? The Riot Podcast. RadioU.
Nikki, it's time for us to make some changes in our life, okay?
What are we going to do?
Well, we're going to make changes.
Small changes? Is that it? Is it just small changes that lead to a big change?
Nikki, small changes each day over time
is good, I guess.
They say the Grand Canyon, it was just a little drip of water day after day after day. And within a few 100,000 years, I'm sure that you'll be
we'll have our
all
stuff
changed.
Together. We'll be perfectly fine.
No big deal. I'm looking here that at a list of, and this is some like inside radio jargon, but I've got a list of over 25 radio stations that have already switched to all Christmas.
You usually get that. You'll get like the early ones who start, sometimes even into October, but they're usually stations that play like oldies. So it's not like it's interrupting anything. Yeah, like it's not anything current. So they're fine to do that. And a lot of people then tune it in or they put it on at like businesses.
Well, Nikki, I'm just telling you this because, again, according to this article from Radio Insight, which I know you're all reading at home, they say that actually this year has seen an unprecedented early switch to Christmas. Now, you always end up with like one or two stations that do it as a stunt.
Yeah.
But they say that it's becoming the real hotness around our great United States.
That's because things have been a little harder for a lot of people. I've seen a lot of houses already have their Christmas decorations up and on. So it's fine if you want to. It's nice and it makes people happy. And the second Halloween was over, you were out putting them up and turn them on. Might as well.
I have lots of friends that have their trees up right now, which it just blows my mind. And I have thought about it because, I'm basically stuck in my house through the rest of the week. And so I've been thinking,
might as well while you have the time if you feel well enough.
Maybe I'll just do it. Yeah, well, that's been the only thing that's stopped me is every time I think about pulling my Christmas tree out, I'm like, dude, you're going to get that tree halfway across the floor and be done. It's like, you don't want to do that. So I haven't, but I sure have thought about it.
A lot of people are doing that just to bring some happiness because Christmas decorations, it does that. And I think that's perfectly fine. Go ahead and do it.
Well, Nikki,
we're not turning all Christmas music yet, but for everything else, it's nice to hear.
I was just going to say, do you want to tell them or do you want me to tell them?
What?
That starting this Friday, RadioU is going all Christmas.
No, we're not.
Nobody else knows yet. I just made the announcements. I'm going to send out the email so everybody
surprise.
can get ready.
No, but we will have in a few weeks our RadioU Christmas channel that will launch a few days, so a little bit before we normally do. Because again, why not? Why not have the Christmas music already?
Obadiah's on a power trip in the basement. He's writing checks his ego can't cash.
What you don't know is you're issuing all these orders and we're just like, it's fine. Just tell him we ignored it until he comes back on Monday.
Just tell him we did it. Send him a Christmas graphic. It's fine.
He won't even know. It's perfectly fine.
Maybe the Riot would sound better if they spent less time improving their lives at their gym. That was sarcasm. It's the Riot on RadioU.
You know what I miss? I miss the opportunity to rent video games.
Oh, you just can't anywhere. There's no more, like they don't do Redbox stuff for video games anymore, do they?
Redbox quit renting back in like last year. It was last year around Christmas. They actually cleared out their video game stock. I know because I bought a couple of games. They were like brand new games for $20. and I just snagged them, played them, and sold them. And I guess it just wasn't successful for them. But I'm looking at this Friday, Dirt 5 comes out, and it's a racing game. It comes out on the Xbox One, the PS4, and the PC. And then next week, brand new video game consoles, it's going to be out on those as well. And so I'm looking at it. I would like to play it. I would like to try it. But the best I could do is spend $40 to try it.
Well, you don't want to own it, but can you not? Is it not a part of like your Xbox Pass or anything like that? You can't just wait for that.
It's too new for that. So it's like if you want to play it right away, like you just straight up got to buy it, which to a certain extent is probably what the video game industry has always wanted. Let's get rid of those rentals.
But you have the upper hand. You don't need to. Remember we talked about yesterday, you did an inventory check on your Steam games and how many you actually own, and you have plenty. You could wait out Dirt.
No, I totally could. I could. And yet there's that wanting.
That doesn't change.
You know, Nikki, I've been locked up in my basement for weeks. I haven't been buying gas so I could take my budgeted gas allotment and buy the fake racing game. What do you think? I just thought of that on the fly.
You could allocate some of your other budget items to the game, but what if you don't like it? Then you just wasted all that money.
I know. Well, you know what? What is it like with Steam? I think you can play for 2 hours and then you can do a return. So maybe I could do that. You know, I'll buy it.
As long as they don't mark you if you do it too often.
Oh, mark me. What is that? What's going to happen?
Well, if they know that's what you're doing.
They're going to cut my face so that everyone who looks at me knows that I'm a returner.
You're a returner. You're like, oh my gosh, you're the same person who'd wear a shirt just for one thing and then go back and return it.
There he is. He's a returner. Don't sell him anything.
Steam would know, and you don't want to upset Steam because, again, like we talked about yesterday, you've spent and have a lot of Steam games, so you'll have to find out something. If not, just maybe see if any friends have it. Get someone else to buy it.
I don't have any friends. I mean, I don't have any friends that have it. That's what I mean.
And again, you can't. Obi's home resting from COVID. He does have that. So it's not like you can go near anybody still. You have to wait.
No. They could put it, anything that somebody passes to me, they can't have it for 2 weeks or something.
They're going to want to wait and clean that thing off.
Yeah. It's for real.
Well, I don't know then. Maybe you just wait or go ahead and spend the money since you're right. You've been saving money by not doing anything else outside of your house.
I've been extra good.
You deserve it, Obi. You deserve something nice.
Get yourself something. You haven't had anything new since yesterday.
Just don't build it up too much, though, because then a lot of times when you do that, you're going to hate the game. And then you're going to be even mad because you spent money on it.
She ain't lying. Everything she's saying is true right now.
There are some people that shouldn't have their own podcast. And by some people, we mean these people. Radio U's Worst of the Riot podcast.
Happy Election Day. My plans to stay in my basement.
Well, you're doing that anyways.
Well, look, the best choice.
You already were.
Yeah, but it all lined up. It's perfect.
I guess it does. Perfect. But do you think that today, once you vote, once you're done, lay low, everybody. Just, take a break today.
Okay. This may be not well received. I don't know. Here's what I think with today. I think that there is... Let me say this. The vast majority of Americans, I think we're ready to accept the outcome of the election. I think that a lot of people will be upset if Trump is reelected. I think a lot of people will be upset if Joe Biden is elected. Wow. What a huge statement I just made, right?
But most people will be perfectly fine in accepting whatever happens.
Right. Most of us, I think, probably understand the way that the election process works. Sometimes you vote for the winner and sometimes you don't. I think there is a very, very small group of people that are looking for any and all reason to cause unrest. And so I think that some of those people are standing by and they're going to do some stupid stuff no matter what happens today. But I think most of us are just like, hey, I got to work tomorrow. I want the best for our country. I don't agree with this person, but good luck. Maybe not. Maybe way more people are way angrier than I think they are.
No, I think you're right. The problem is angrier people tend to make the most noise. So you think it's a lot, but it's not necessarily. Most people are, like you said, we have stuff to do tomorrow, so you just keep going.
Well, I'll tell you what I did this morning, and I've been doing, I'm not making this up. This is not necessarily me very often, but like I woke up a lot in the night. That has been one of COVID's gifts to me, is that I'm just
Obi's
I'm up
home
a lot.
with COVID as he quarantines.
No. But you know what? I've just been praying for our country all through the night and all morning. It's just been, that's not something I think about really often. Like, I'm going to pray for our country. That's like better people than me have thoughts like that. But I will say that like I woke up at like 1:30 and I didn't even think about it. I was immediately praying for the election, for the United States, and all those things. And no, not praying for my chosen outcome, but just praying for our country. And so, you know what, today, that might not be a bad idea. Maybe you're not the kind of person that wakes up in the night praying for our country. I'm not that kind of person, even though I weirdly did it today. You know what? Every time you get a little concerned today, just pray about it. Every time you hear a piece of news about it, pray about it. Ask God to help us today because, hey, it's going to be okay.
Is it healthy eating so many snacks, chips, and Oreos every single morning? No, of course not. But they do it for you.
Too many guys got the stomach for this line of work.
That's real love. It's The Riot on Radio U.
You're at work. How long are you in the bathroom? Just ballpark it day to day. Like,
is that your time where you take your phone in and really it's not about going to the bathroom, it's just about taking a break in the bathroom? Or do you just use the time using the restroom? What do you do?
Well, you know what, Nikki, I think you just brought up a really important point there of delineation is it a bathroom or is it a restroom?
Yes,
because
good call.
if you say I'm going to the restroom, then perhaps you go in and you have some rest.
So maybe that means you're not lying to your boss. If you go in and say restroom, you say I have to use the restroom, or are you saying I have to use the bathroom?
Yes. Well, I'll leave that up to you. But there's a company in China that is coming under an awful lot of fire from the internet because they say that there are these clocks that live above the bathrooms that tell people how long you've been in the bathroom.
So basically you can see, but then also people coming in can you're shamed if you're in there for a really long time.
That's messed up, man.
Why? Why do they say that they had a problem with people hiding in there, taking too long of breaks and stuff? Or maybe they don't have enough, toilets for everyone there, and so you only get a short amount of time? I wonder if they explain it a bit more.
So they say that it's there. Okay. All right. Different people say different things. The company is just we're just there, we put, it's really just part of an occupied sign and there just happens to be a clock there. Whoa. But everybody else is saying, no, it really is for them trying to raise productivity by getting you to spend less time in the bathroom. I don't know. I don't want to work somewhere where they're tracking how long I'm in the bathroom. I want to be, the thing is I'll tell you what, I'm just a cog in the machine.
Sure.
I want to be a good employee. I want to do a good job. Somewhere inside me, my intention is if I'm going to do something, I want to do it well. Mm-hmm. I know that just makes me a sucker and easily taken advantage of. But I'll just tell you, when you start timing me in the bathroom, you start to lose some of my good-natured willingness.
They say, though, that it seems like, based on this article, that for the public toilets have these timers as well. And they say that because of the construction of the building's layout, it's difficult for them to build new toilet bathrooms within the building. So they actually have a shortage. So there's two parts to this. One part to the public toilets is because they do not have a chance to build any more, and there's always a lack of toilets for people who are visiting the building. Then for the other side, this is a building that houses a firm that's part of a really big video sharing mobile app. And they said that for their workers, they want people to go back to work. And so the timers are for their employees to keep them moving faster.
All right, Nikki, you tell me, is that true?
Is what true?
Meaning, okay, let me say it a different way.
I wouldn't want a timer above me showing the time that I've been in the bathroom, especially if it was a public toilet people were coming in and out of, not just workers that you know.
Do you want me to stop by your office and be like, hello, Nicole, I noticed that you spent 5 minutes and 30 seconds in the bathroom earlier.
But I'm
just
not.
want you to know I'm tracking, dude.
That would be the worst.
Get a big chart and just track one person's bathroom time. And I can tell you, I'm not going to say who it is, but there's somebody that works in our building that I know, like, they have a very regular schedule, and I can tell you, like,
and you know what's going on.
I know what time it is. I know where you're going.
And so to have a clock just for everybody to see, at least for our bathrooms, because ours, you don't go in and there's a bunch of stalls. It's just you go in and that's your bathroom
it's a
time.
One-off, yeah.
So everybody could be possibly waiting on you, and just to see the timer.
I do think it's an improvement that I don't see that person carrying a magazine to the bathroom anymore.
Oh, yeah.
I do feel good about that.
The Riot has now been downloaded. Hope you installed some antivirus. This is the worst of the Riot podcast.
Psst. Hey, kid. You want to buy something real nice? Something you can't get anywhere else? Step on over here. Has that ever happened to you? That happened to me. I was in a...
When you were a kid?
No, I was grown up. I was walking through the gas station parking lot, and this guy in a white van goes, Hey there, boss, big guy. Hey, big guy, come here. You want to get some speakers for the man cave?
So he's trying to sell you stuff, not like try to take
out
you?
Of the back, out of the back of a white van.
I gotcha.
I'm just going to tell you, didn't feel like that was legit.
Mm-hmm.
I started talking to him about the manufacturer's warranty, and I don't know what happened. Like, the conversation just dried up really fast.
He knows he couldn't sell to you.
Yeah. This appears to be a real story coming from India, though. I don't know. I dug around a little bit, and I found it on multiple news sites, and it's not a parody. There was a doctor there who was treating a patient, and then the patient's son actually began talking to him, and eventually, this is crazy, but it's true, got him to pay approximately 130,000 American dollars, so millions of rupees in India, for what they said was a magic lamp that had a genie in it.
So they tried to, they worked hard. It's like a scam. You really try to get the person to believe that this was a magic lamp that had magical powers that would bring wealth and happiness. That was what they were trying to persuade this doctor that this lamp would do. So they started with $284,000, but remember, Obi, never accept the first price, okay?
No, of course not. Of course not.
So they settled on $128,189 to buy this magical genie lamp.
This guy he's a doctor. This guy is out there.
It doesn't say what type of doctor.
He was treating this woman, so it's got to be a medical doctor, right?
He said he was targeted after he began to treat the woman he believed to be the mother of the guys, and they told them about, they said they call it brainwashing, and apparently that just led to him thinking this was a real magical lamp.
So they said they had a real scheme going about something there, like a
god man, a baba?
God man. Like, we don't completely understand it, but apparently in their religious context, it made a certain amount of sense. And so this guy was like, yes, I'll take the magic lamp. Yes, I will.
Yes, I'll spend $130,000 for this thing.
Phenomenal cosmic power, brah. Let's get this thing, bring it over here. Let me just rub it one time just to make sure that it's legit.
So the only thing I don't see in this article is, did he keep his money? Do they not know where these people are? Or the third suspect in a woman, she's on the run and still at large. They realized eventually it was a scam. Okay, wait, did you read the bottom of this story? They started brainwashing this guy, and then he said a genie appeared one night from supposedly out of the lamp, but he realized it was just one of the men dressed in a costume.
No.
Yes.
No, I did not. What?
Yes. They've tried to scam other locals with this, and that's what happened. They've cheated other families with the same Aladdin genie lamp.
What would it take for somebody to show up and convince you they're a genie from inside a lamp.
That was it. They came dressed as a genie.
Is it smoke? Is it lighting? Is it a particular style of dress? Like what? Who's going to show up and be like, yeah, I'm a genie. Oh, yeah, okay. Here, I got 100,000 in the back if you just want to take it now.
I just want to know how long. Because the guy goes, it was only later he realized it was one of the men dressed in a costume. Like, how much later did it take? But he was a victim. Other people are a victim. I think the genie thing is confused with, like you were saying, in the religion, they have a God man that sometimes appears. So maybe like a priest or something like that. And they thought this lamp was attached to that. So they wanted to buy it.
I mean, in fairness, I've heard people believe a lot of things, like a lot of them.
Well, I don't know. This feels worse than the IRS iTunes scan, like sending Apple gift cards.
It does, and yet it's in the same vein. Like you can see where somebody's just like, what are you doing, sir? I'm buying these iTunes gift cards because they said they're going to take my house. The genie told me if I didn't give him iTunes gift cards that he was going to burn down my house.
The Riot is well-versed on many different topics.
They're shy at first, but they're quite skilled at conversation.
This is The Riot on Radio U.
So yesterday in the show, I mentioned that with me being in quarantine because I've got COVID, woohoo!
Do you want us to, yay, or you're on the mend? At least he's feeling better and might be back Monday. I'm not sure when your thing will end.
I will say that today I feel better than I have in quite a few days. The flip side to that is last night, there's something about at night I get sick. And so last night at about 7 o'clock, I got crazy nauseated. And I just went upstairs and laid in the dark with a sleep mask on, got up for a couple more minutes, and then just went to bed.
Yeah, you just get so tired.
It's just really weird how you will go from feeling just fine to all of the sudden feeling terrible. And it's like there's no rhyme or reason. It just comes out of nowhere and it gets you. I would have thought by now I'd be done with that. But last night is a reminder that even though I'm done with COVID's not done with me.
So it just depends on when you're symptom-free and you can return back.
So yesterday afternoon, I've been watching some anime. I've been catching up on Netflix. I also got Space Battleship Yamato 2202 or something. I got that for Christmas, and some of you just lost all interest. But listen, wait.
It's fine if you want. I mean, anime, he said, was easy to watch, like, so that it didn't actually make him more nauseous. There's just certain things you can't end up watching.
It just seemed to work out okay. So I did that. And then yesterday, Nikki, I was like, okay, I'm going to watch John Wick 3.
Oh.
Now, listen, I haven't watched it since we saw it in the theater.
Yeah. So
did
you
got go see that?
Well, no,
I can't remember if we saw two together.
We did.
That was our Valentine's Day date. It was me and my dad and Eric and Nikki.
It was wonderful. I had a great time. Actually, it was just fine.
It's still one of my favorite weird things we've ever done.
But I don't think we saw 3 together. But did you get the digital copy when you went and saw the movie or something?
No. Well, I'm just holding it here. I got it for Christmas last year, and I never watched it. And so yesterday I was like, dude, let's pop this in. Let's see how this goes. And I just want to give you an idea of just how lazy I actually am. And that is, yesterday I got up. I can voice command my TV to turn on and stuff. So I did, and I put the disc in the Blu-ray player, closed it, and then I couldn't find the Blu-ray player remote. So I just shut the TV off and went and did something else.
Oh, boy. Okay. All right. Now, you can blame that on being sick, and that still gives you a very good excuse. But that is really lazy.
I know. I was like, where's the remote? I can't. You know what? Forget it. It's not even worth it. And I just went off and did something else.
I think that's better because if certain things are making you nauseous and sick, with all the fighting and like the very graphic fighting in John Wick 3, I don't know how long you could have actually, with all the fast movement as well, I don't think you could have watched much of it.
Probably not. It was probably for the best. But you know what? I didn't even think about how lazy it was until later. And I was like, man, you wouldn't even look for the remote. Like, what is wrong with you? Like, it's just the privilege of watching a movie has gotten to the point where we're like, oh, you know what? I just got distracted for 5 seconds. Can't. Done.
Well, you're still
Next.
one up on everybody. I told you that's why I haven't done Blu-rays or discs for so long, because why bother when you'd have to get up, put it in the player, do all that stuff. You would just have it downloaded already or just stream it.
I just like...
I know, you like having the
quality.
disc. Yeah.
And here's my digital copy. I'm about to redeem it. And it's so funny. I'm reading it. They want you to download an app to redeem it. And then if you just look in the fine print, you don't have to download the app. You just put the code
redeem
in.
it.
But they're trying to scam you into downloading their app before you redeem your code.
Aww.
Ridiculous.
Well, again, Obi's on the mend, and if anybody has any calm movie suggestions that would be nice to watch while you're recovering, that'd be good.
Yeah, nobody suggests that I'm not, like, things are still happening. Look at me. I'm watching movies sometimes when I can find the remote.
Everything you love about the Riot, plus a handy-dandy fast-forward option. This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
Now, if RadioU was a TV show and it had episodes, one of our most memorable episodes would be the one where we went to Friendly's.
Which, I mean, I think I remember some of the details concerning that, but it's been a long time.
So it goes like this. Friendly's is an ice cream joint that, by the way, is in the news, and we're talking about it because they just filed for bankruptcy, and it sounds like someone's going to buy them. They say that basically service will not be interrupted at any of their locations.
But they are saying it's because of COVID and then the new rules and stuff that they have to follow, and being closed for so long and not open at full capacity that they just couldn't stay on their own anymore. So they need someone to bail them out.
Yeah. So when Friendly says to you that they're going to continue their service as they normally would, what they're saying is they're going to take way too long. They're going to mess up your food. You're never going to get your check. You know, the kind of things that you've come to rely on from your Friendly's experience.
Maybe it's better now, though. We haven't been in years. Maybe they do a better job than they used to.
Well, back to the Friendly's episode, the one where they went to Friendly's of the RadioU TV show. It was somebody's birthday. I won't say whose. And you guys know, at RadioU, when it's your birthday, you get to tell everybody where you're having lunch.
You get to go pick, as long as it's within a window of time. Like, you can't go to, like, another city if you want to try a place.
Okay. See that? We're already getting into qualifiers, and we're just getting started.
You know, like, it can't be too much.
We all go to Friendly's for lunch that day, and it takes a really long time. And one of the problems is that, first off, it's Friendly's. The other problem was people were having fun, which is something we try not to do. And so we got back from Friendly's, and we were gone too long. I don't know how long. But, Nikki, that's where the yellow email came from.
Yeah, I remember now, because you're only supposed to take, like, still your lunchtime for your birthday lunch, which is why you can't travel too far. This Friendly's was a little bit of distance away, but they made us wait so long. And when you go on a birthday lunch, remember when you could be in cars with everybody together at the same time?
Right.
We would all drive together, so it's not like you could just leave early if you didn't want to wait anymore. You had to wait for the entire party to finish. So we came back, and I thought it was like 2.5 hours, but maybe a little less.
I don't think it was quite that long. I think we were pushing right up on the 2-hour mark.
I don't know, because I thought it took us close to 20, 30 minutes just to drive there. But, you know, again, it just took a long time. So someone got in trouble.
Well, you know, it wasn't that we necessarily got in trouble. We just got a real tongue lashing via email, and that email was written with a bright yellow background.
But it was his birthday.
I don't think it was.
It was. I thought he had to write his own email to himself.
I thought it was Cole's. I think it was Cole's birthday.
I
it was
don't
just that
know.
He was there. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was Michael's. Going to Friendly sounds like Michael.
It
okay?
does.
It sounds exactly like him.
Remember, he had to write his own email to himself because he had his own rules that he broke. We'll have to ask him.
I'll just tell you, we gave Michael crap about that for years, and it is now passed into RadioU lore.
Yeah, about it.
If somebody does something, we'll still say, oh, you're going to get a yellow email.
Well, he emailed everybody, and he colored the body of it yellow just to like make it more important. And I think he was going for impact, but instead we just
mocked it.
We just mocked it in a nice, respectful way.
If you ever do anything at RadioU in which you try to be taken seriously, you will be mocked for it. It's not that we're bad people; it's that we're terrible people.
We're not.
So
we're just realists, all right? We just tell it as it is.
Speak for yourself. If whatever measure you take to increase your impact, we're not going to listen to the message. We're going straight to the measure.
In case you're wondering, yes, we do get complaints.
They have gone too far. This time, they are going to be held accountable.
You're listening to The Riot on RadioU.
What's one of the hardest things to do in modern society? Wait, let me answer you. It's standing out. It's hard to stand out, Nikki.
It is.
Which is
don't like it.
Sometimes you gotta make the email yellow in hopes that it's gonna stand out.
No, a lot of times a lot of people just want to blend in.
Well, there are a lot of people that want to stand out, like people with YouTube channels. People that are out there, they want to get their YouTube channel or podcast or Twitch channel or TikTok account, like whatever the heck it is, they want to get it noticed. And they can say it's because blank, blank, and blank, but what it really means is they just want to monetize it.
Well, actually, that's true. It's very hard to make waves and build a YouTube channel as quickly as it used to be when you would do like pranks and kind of, over the top sort of things. Now you have to go really over the top in order to get noticed because there's so many channels that have just done that for so long. It's very hard to start building a following, especially if you want it to be where you make money from it.
Yeah, no, it's crazy out there. And so you're always trying to stand out a little bit, which is what happened on this American Airlines flight from Dallas to Miami last Friday. The flight, okay. We've got a woman in first class and a woman in coach. And before the flight takes off, the woman in coach makes her way up to first class to see her friend. Mm-hmm. And their stunt is they want to try to shove her under the seat, and she's going to spend the entire flight under the seat
and not get noticed.
First class. And not get noticed. And so they're shooting video of it and it's happening. Look at us. And before the flight even takes off, people start complaining about this woman being there.
Well, the flight attendant in the coach section noticed that there was an empty seat and that person had been there previously. So they started wondering, where did this person go before they were taking off?
Yeah. See, back before everything went south, you probably could have gotten away with a stunt like that. But now people are like, wait, why is that seat empty?
I know. They notice it, which I didn't think sometimes the airline attendant would even notice if you were there or not. They can't notice when you need something.
Yes. Yeah. They know you're there. They just don't care.
They choose to ignore you. So they asked the woman who was trying to hide out in the first class underneath the seat in front of her friend. They asked her to return and just leave her hiding spot. But everybody got mad. She tried to return to the coach area, the back of the plane. And go ahead.
She ripped her mask off and started yelling.
Well, that also got attention. Everybody got mad then, and so the plane and the captain, they flagged it as a problem, a security issue at that point. So they returned to the gate so they could both get off.
Yeah, and of course they threw a huge fit, but they're like, nope, you can't be on the flight. And then everybody else on the flight, these are the people I identify with, where you're just like, they were really angry because they caused the flight to be delayed.
Everybody gets mad at that. Everybody does. It's unfair. I mean, they just won't listen. She could have just gone back to the seat and they just could have ended things, but they decided not to.
Yeah, I mean, you would think, I don't know. I guess if you're the kind of person that's trying to build an audience on YouTube, as a producer and a host on some level, I'm like, ooh, look, we can still get a ton of views out of this. Keep going, keep rolling. We're going to make this a thing. And then when it goes from you're playing and they're not playing, as a kid, you've experienced this with your parents, no doubt. You're still playing.
And it turns real.
Playing, and it gets real all of a sudden.
And the police come. And then it's really real as you're getting. They said they had to drag them off the plane.
Oh, hooray. I can't wait to fly in a couple weeks. It's going to be great.
You're listening to the worst of the riot, Radio U.
You know, one of the things that I don't see a lot of the candidates campaigning on that I think is a real disappointment is nobody's out there campaigning for ATSC 3.0. And I'm just like, guys, what are you doing? Like, I didn't hear that at a debate. I didn't hear anybody bring it up.
So wait, what is the campaigning for? What is the acronym?
ATSC 3.0?
ATSC 3.0? Is that a movie thing?
With ATSC 3.0, you're going to be able to get free over-the-air 4K television.
Oh, is that something like that? Wow. Yeah, it's surprising you didn't hear any of that on the campaign trail.
I mean, right now, imagine let's say a candidate, your candidate, he's out there and he says, you know what? And one of the things we're going to do is we're going to get rid of this 1080p nonsense and we're going to get these over-the-air signals to 4K.
4K. Oh.
The crowd is going crazy as he announces his support for the 4K broadcast standard.
So if you watch over-the-air channels, usually, you know, your ABC, your CBS, your Fox, your NBC, your many PBS channels, and then all the side channels.
So much PBS.
All the weird side channels that, you know, get weird, like programming. It's very odd. Then you could get 4K of it instead of just 1080.
There it is. Well, Nikki, we were supposed to have that in our area by the end of this year, but it looks like they have moved that into the middle of next year.
Would you have to buy a new antenna for it, or would that antenna work?
Same antenna, but depending on your TV, you might need a converter box. So I'm thinking about all of this because I got an email today. The company that I currently run my DVR through is selling these boxes today. But since the signals aren't here, there's no point in me picking one up just yet. But you know what? I mean, come on. Where was the campaign where you guys would give me money to go out and buy that to spur on economic development? Where was the campaign on that? Honestly,
the only time I really do over-the-air stuff is if there's a college football game and it's not on a channel anywhere else. That's the only time I use that.
Nikki, I want to see my Buckeyes in 4K, all right?
Could be a possibility, but just not this year.
No, not this year.
The Riot. Just because it's bad doesn't mean it's not good. Wait, isn't that exactly what it means? It's The Riot on Radio U.
Now, Nikki, you and I have talked many times about our conviction that the way forward is through theft, and that's probably going to be one of our best shots at making the money we've always dreamed of.
No, it's more like Obi's always wondered if there's a creative way of not stealing from anyone, but like from a big company or corporation or laundering or something like that.
I still think, man, if we get money laundering figured out, I mean, I know people that like they laundered money from me, and like I was always like, how do they always go to Disney World all the time? Yeah. And then I found out.
Yeah, they're just laundering money. It's fine.
That was amazing. Okay, so I'm looking here, Nikki. Speaking of Disney, Kissimmee mucho.
Kissimmee.
No, Kissimmee.
Kissimmee.
It's Florida. It's over where Disney is.
Yeah.
Someone robbed HSL Animal Paradise. It's a store. It's an exotic pet store.
Ooh, what'd they take?
And they took 50 birds.
Aww.
And 2 monkeys.
Wow, that really is an exotic pet store. I thought you were just going to say there's just snakes or something, but they have monkeys there?
That had to be the loudest thievery in the history of thievery.
No one would notice if the birds. But they're making noise anyway, so no one would notice if there was just the same noise of them squawking.
I guess. To me, it just seems like if you're moving birds, I mean, I guess like when they sleep, don't you put like a blanket on the outside of their cage or something, like something to keep the light out?
Yeah, and I think with some animals, you can put like a hood on them.
Yeah.
So it would just be, it's like 2 hours later, one hood on one bird, one hood on another, and they can still breathe and stuff, but it keeps them quiet.
Man, when I was a kid, my friend's sister had a bird, and I remember going to visit their house and thinking, like, why would you ever let someone have a bird in your house?
They're loud, and it's very hard to clean.
So obnoxious.
Yeah, to clean from them. But I mean, if you like a bird, it's majestic. So.
Well, they haven't figured out who did it, but it's crazy. The thief made a hole in the wall at the back of the store. This was after hours, of course. Just came right through the wall, stole the birds, stole the monkeys. So the total value... Oh, you know what? Let's guess, Nikki. What do you think?
Of how many birds?
50 birds and 2 monkeys. How much money do you think that the insurance company is on the hook for?
I'd say $100,000.
Hey, that's pretty good. $60,000.
$60,000 for that?
Yeah.
All you need to do is look on Craigslist. Don't go your city. You're going to want to go a little outside because they're not going to sell them where they stole them from. But
no, certainly not.
Start looking for who's selling all the birds and 2 monkeys. And there's your person.
Selling a bunch of birds in suburban Minnesota.
I know.
All of a sudden.
You're like, oh, are you part of this case from Florida? Yes, you are.
Nah, come on.
I think that's how you have to track him down to see who did, because they wouldn't sell them again in that area. They'd probably sell them maybe even internationally.
Yeah. So there it is, Florida. This is not, when I see Nikki and I doing our thievery in the future.
Oh no,
this is not this route.
Not with your allergies. We can't do this.
We couldn't. I mean, I just couldn't handle it. We're gonna have to figure something else out.
Worst of the riot. Radio U.
You know, something happened over the last couple of days that I have done that we haven't talked about at all. And I feel like normally this time of year it would have come up at least once by now.
What was it?
And that is, well, I've been looking at the Black Friday ads.
Oh, yeah, but so many places they're doing, Black Friday stuff this entire month. So you almost have to take a look at it early enough to make sure you're not missing one of the days, because it's not just going to be on Black Friday.
No, it's sad. The Black Friday website that you and I have checked forever.
Yeah.
They're gone.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah. Wow. That's sad. That was a holiday tradition.
Even the Black Friday ad websites can't survive 2020.
Why? Wouldn't they be even better? Because they would have more, like they should be doing all the other Black Friday stuff?
Hey, I hear what you're saying, Nikki. I'm with you, but the answer is
no.
Not that one.
Aww.
I mean, there are certainly other ones out there that you can look at, but the one that was my go-to for all these years, completely gone. I've got to say, the total sad trombone about Black Friday is I'm looking at it, and if you told me this was last year's Black Friday ad, I would totally believe you.
Is it just that there's not anything new to feature? We just, outside of like the new Xbox, new PlayStation, there's just not a lot of, there's no new movies, there's not a lot of games. It's just not the same.
It's totally that. I'm looking through the Best Buy Black Friday ad, which is typically, that's like the hallmark for me. That's the one where it's like, okay, I'm going to buy a bunch of movies from these people or a bunch of video games. And no, there's nothing. You don't need it.
Don't bother.
So the good news is, if there's something you wanted last year that you didn't get for Christmas,
on sale for a Black Friday special price, you could get it on sale now.
This is going to be a great time
Aww.
for you to look at some Black Friday ads.
Oh, well, I'm sure so many places will still do like sales on Black Friday, but it won't be the same. It'll be a little different.
Yeah. And you know what? It's fine. I mean, the reality of it is most of us probably have more than we could ever possibly need, which just goes to show you that, like me, I'm a glutton. I'm like, hey, this is nice, but I'll take more.
You always want more. Or it's always you want you want to get the amazing deal. Like you want to be one of the people that got the TV for like $500 off. You just want to be the special one who found that amazing price on something.
Hallelujah. Come on, Nikki. You got it.
So that's what I think we're really we're missing out on the hunt and then the success that we would feel with some of the Black Friday, Cyber Monday stuff.
This is going to be one of those things where it's just like, look, you got something. Shut up. It's 2020.
Be happy about it.
I'm sorry, that was a little negative, but Nikki and I are just trying to manage expectations.
This was the worst of the riot, and we'd like to congratulate you on having the stomach to stick around to the very end. The riot exists because Radio U exists, and Radio U only exists because of your support. Find out more and give now at radiou.com/donate.
That's why I hate it here. They won't let us build fires in here.
They just